Hello and welcome to the shop. I did a video recently where I discussed how I learned to price my pens. And the video went over really well, but I got a lot of people who responded and said, okay, I understand the pricing aspect and how you did that, but where do you sell your pens? That's what I'm going to discuss in today's video. When I talk to people and they want to get into making pens to sell, the first three things that come to their mind every time are Etsy, craft shows, and consignment shops. And those can be great things, but you better do your homework about, say, the community and the clientele that come to the craft show, or how to drive traffic to your Etsy store, or even take a look at what the commissions are going to be at the consignment store to sell your pens. Because if you don't do your homework, you could end up not doing well at any of those three venues. I'm going to tell you what I found to be the best way to sell your ink pens. When I first started making pens, I gave a few away to close friends. And some of those friends I noticed were telling a lot of people, they were showing the pens off and telling people, look what Bob made. And people were coming to me saying, hey, you made this pen for this person. Could you make one for me? That word of mouth is the most valuable resource that you have. So what I did is I went back to my friend. Now, remember a minute ago I talked about craft shows, Etsy, or consignment shops? You're going to put a lot of work into those things to sell your pens. You're going to have to put money out to sell your pens. You pay to go to the show. You pay the consignment shop so much every time you sell a pen. You're paying Etsy to be able to have people look at your store and sell your pens. So I got to thinking, what if I offered my friend a little bonus? So I told him, hey, I'll give you 25% of every pen sale that you bring to me. What happens is the average consignment shop is 35%. See, take a look at what Etsy costs. Take a look at the amount of money you put into doing a craft show. This worked out great. If you sell a pen for $20, of course, he's going to get $5. Now, a $20 pen is probably going to be a slimline. You got $2 in the kit. You got maybe $3 in the blank. You got $5 in the thing. Yeah, you're only going to make $10 for turning it, but it only takes about a half an hour to turn it. It's not a great profit, but what it does is it gets a customer to come to you. And then that customer has this pen they're proud of, and what do? They show it to someone else. Now, I didn't offer the 25% consignment or to everybody. I just offered it to a couple of my good friends who were showing off their pens. Then what did they start doing? They started showing them off more. What that did was brought me customers. Those customers then showed off their new pen and brought me more customers. That tier of customers, I was getting full price for the pen. That is the best way to sell, in my opinion. Now, the second best place to sell is Facebook. Now, I'm not talking Facebook Marketplace, okay? I'm talking, let's go back. Say you give a pen to your mom. What's your mom going to do? It's like when you were a kid and you were in grade school and they gave you clay and you rolled it up into a snake and curled it up and you gave your mom a snake. Your mom is proud of that. It doesn't matter what it is. She's proud of it because you're her child and you made that for her. So you give your mom a pen. What does your mom do? She takes a photo of that pen and she posts it out on Facebook where all of her friends see that pen. And she's like, look what my son made. Guess what? People are like, whoa, that's really cool. Does he make them to sell? Yeah, he sells them. Next thing you know, her friends are contacting you. Use that to your advantage, okay? If you give pens away to friends and family members, encourage them to post them on Facebook. And if someone's interested, just say, hey, just give them my Facebook profile, whatever it happens to be. And people will come to you and you can let them see your pens right there on Facebook, and you will make sales. You'll find customers who want to come back and view your pens, and especially around the holidays, looking for a unique gift. I've done really well with Facebook. I have started to migrate away from Facebook. I'm not really selling pens anymore, but I've migrated away from Facebook because I find Instagram is a great portfolio site for you to have literally a portfolio of all of your pens. Now, if you decide to use Instagram, I recommend set up a site just for your pens and your turnings, and don't put a photo of your dog out there. Don't put a picture of you standing in front of, Mount Everest or whatever. make it just pens and put a nice description about each of your pens. Maybe what the material is, what the pen kit is. Tell a little bit about it, because the story is huge for selling a pen. That's a great portfolio site. You can direct people. Check out my Instagram at RJBWoodTurner, and boom, people will go check it out. They'll see your pens and they can see, good gosh, look at what he can do. Then they get interested and you'll get comments. Hey, could you make me one of these? How much? And you can work the deal out. When I was talking about Instagram, I said make a comment, tell the story about the pen. That's critical. A pen alone will not sell, but a pen with a story will sell. So if you have a special piece of wood, know what that wood is. This came from a barn over the next town over that's been there since 1850. People drive past that barn every day. They've seen it. That clicks in their mind. That's something they want. If you have a special kit, you need to tell the story of your pen, because a pen, like I said, I can go to Walmart for $2, $3 and I can buy a pen. But I want a special pen, one that says something to me. So always tell what the wood is, know where it came from. This came from South America, this came from Guatemala, whatever it might be, know the story behind the pen, because the story sells your pen. To recap, I think there are really three things that are important. Number one, in order to get sales kickstarted, offer a few close people a little boost, a little bonus. And what that does, it makes them salespeople for you, and they'll talk about the product and they'll sell the product for you. Who better to give good word of mouth to you than your friends and family? That's the king right there. Word of mouth is number one. Number two is social media. Take advantage of the free social media. Don't go out there and pay to do it. You don't need to. Show your stuff on Facebook, set up that portfolio on Instagram, and encourage people to look at it. Give that site to everybody, share it with everybody so everybody can see it. And be sure to, number three, tell the story of your pen. Whether I'm talking to you face to face or whether we're talking over a DM or a Facebook post, always tell the story of that pen, because that's the hook. People see that and it means something to them, and that's going to help you sell your pen. So quite honestly, that is how I began selling pens, and I did really well for a while. I just got to the point where selling pens, I wanted a hobby, something that I could come out and do and enjoy. And when it came to selling pens, I got to a point where I was selling so many that all I had to do was come out to the shop, and there was nothing creative. It was make these 6 pens, make these 10 pens. And I was constantly making pens, and I lost the love that I had for it as a hobby and as a way to relax and enjoy myself. So I discontinued selling, but there is a lot of potential out there if you make a quality product and you have a good reputation and good word of mouth. You're going to do really well selling your pens. I'd like to thank you for joining me for this short video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are able to glean something from it. I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. Come back and see me again real soon, and have a great evening.